Hello everyone and welcome to the Draft Viewer. I'm Ian Duke and joining me is Thien Nguyen of Team Fire Squad. You started off day one 7-1. Pretty awesome start to the tournament. Must be feeling pretty good coming in here to day two.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
More wins than the other Pro Tours that I started with.
Very good. That's off to a great start. So we're going to jump straight into the mind of a Aether Revolt draft master here by getting right into the picks. So why don't you walk us through what you saw here in your first pack and what kind of choices were going through your mind?
This one was pretty easy. I thought Thopter Arrest was just the most powerful card. I made sure to note that there were a lot of white cards though. Like the Countless Gears Renegade is a very good 2-drop. Caught in the Brights is like a fine removal spell. And then I also passed Druid of the Cowl and Hope of Gerper, which were also like, I don't think as powerful, but still like pretty okay, or like pretty solid first picks.
So when you see other white cards in the pack, are you thinking like, hey, one of these might wheel, like the Countless Gears Renegade, or are you thinking more like, I have to be careful because I'm passing good white cards to my left as well?
I'm thinking that I'm passing good white cards, and sometimes like players more downstream might just pick up like a wrong signal, and then like if they took white cards early, that could just like really mess you up in the second pack. So I was trying to be conscientious of that, but I felt that even if I got cut out of white, Thopter Arrest is like still a very powerful card and it's very splashable.
Yep.
So I'd be able to like change up my game plan depending on what happens, and I don't think I try not to marry myself to the first pick.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense, keeping your options open here. So then in pack 2, coming off that first pick white card, what stood out to you in this pack?
I was debating Deadeye Harpooner, but I felt I just didn't have enough experience doing like white Revolt control decks. So I picked Servo Schematic, which was a pretty speculative pick, but I feel the ceiling is really high on the card. Like if I managed to table the Ravenous Intruder, or if I went into white-black and had some Defiant Salvagers, it's like a very good payoff card.
Yeah, there's also potential with Improvise, should you add red or blue to your deck. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Definitely checking it out here in pack 3. What are you thinking about here?
Pack 3, the Scrounging Bandar just stood out.
Just a great 2-drop, kind of goes in any deck.
Yeah, I think it's just so powerful. I deliberated between Aether Swooper, like even though Scrounging Bandar is the better card, just because I think blue goes a little underdrafted outside of the Improvise archetypes. So I was thinking like, well, maybe like green dries up and I'm just like in blue, and the Swooper, like it's just, once again, it's I'm trying to anticipate like what the other people are drafting, but then I just told myself I'll just take the Bandar. If green gets cut, then I'll try to adjust like when it comes.
Sounds great. So let's look at pack 4 here. Renegade map, a card that has gone up a lot in people's estimations here, but I also see Dawnfeather Eagle might work well in your deck.
Yeah, I just picked up the Dawnfeather Eagle, and I just told myself like I'm going to go as aggressive as I can. Okay,
are you imagining a white-green deck at this point, or still open to a different second color?
At this point, I'm either white-green or white-red.
Okay, sounds great. On to the next pack. Pick 5 here.
Yeah.
Things drying up maybe a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, I deliberated between the Frontline Rebel and the Implement of Ferocity, and I picked the Implement of Ferocity because it's just like a pretty solid card, and I feel it goes into like the green-white Revolt archetype well. If I had picked the Frontline Rebel, I felt I'd kind of have to be, like I didn't see that many good red cards, so I felt that I'd rather just take the Implement and hope to get green cards in pack 2.
Okay, makes sense. And on to pick 6 here.
Yeah, pick 6. I saw the Scrounging Bandar at the very front of the pack, and I was like, all right, time to snap this up right away. But then I also saw the Aeronaut Admiral, and he's like a very solid card. And it took some deliberation because once again, I thought from like pack 1, I'm passing 2 like Countless Gears Renegade and the Caught in the Brights. Passing the Admiral might send the wrong signal, and like I might just get cut out of white completely in pack 2.
Yep, makes sense. And yeah, we've seen a lot of people prioritizing those 2-drops. Makes a lot of sense here. So now let's take a look at kind of how the rest of the pack rounded out here. Looks like you did pick up an extra Countless Gears Renegade, another nice 2-drop, maybe a decommission, you know, either for the main deck or for the sideboard, and then a couple other, you know, cards that probably aren't making the main deck here.
Yeah.
So let's jump into pack 2 here and see what you opened up in this, your first pick.
I picked the Renegade Rallier. I think a lot of people are against taking a multicolor card, but given the other options, I might have taken. Like, I just don't think any other card in the pack was as powerful.
Yeah, and by this point in the draft, you're reasonably confident you're going to end up in white-green anyway, so
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
I think it would have been pretty hard for me to table it.
Yep. So pick 2 here. What stands out?
I deliberated between the Hidden Herbalist and the Prey Upon. I ultimately chose Prey Upon because I felt that I had gotten 2 drops, but I wanted to get in more combat or like more removal spells.
Yep, totally makes sense. Seems like a great addition to the deck. Let's take a look at pick 3 here.
In this pick, I deliberated a lot between Druid of the Cal, the Leopard, and Con of the Brights. It was a pretty hard pick for me because I ultimately went with Con of the Brights, and I feel I should have taken the Leopard.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of players would just default to taking the removal spell here, but definitely shows consideration to your creature curve as well for a deck like this. Yeah. Cool. So let's look at pick 4.
Once again, I had to make the same decision. I was like, Con of the Brights or the Leopard, and this time I was like, all right, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, so I took the Leopard.
So in the end, you got one of each anyway. So,
yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And then pick 5 here. Another Thopter arrest.
Yeah.
That's really nice to see this late, isn't it?
I didn't get punished for passing 2 great white cards in in pack 1, and I was like, okay. It didn't backfire. Took the Thopter arrest. Felt great.
Cool. So let's see how the rest of the pack rounded out here. Any notable standouts? Doesn't look like anything too super awesome here, but some filler level cards: Silk Weaver Elite, Aether Herder, Aether Inspector, another decommission maybe for the sideboard at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks like pretty solid so far heading into the Kaladesh pack. And let's take a look at what Kaladesh brought for you here in pack 3, pick 1.
I saw the Snare Thopter. I was like, all right, taking like very good creature over removal spell again.
Yep, just great card, goes in any deck. Looking good here. And pick 2.
In pick 2, I deliberated between Hunt the Weak and Glint-Sleeve Artisan, but because I already had 4 removal spells, I just went with the Artisan because it's just like very good 3-drop.
Seems like a constant theme here of just going for quality creatures over removal spells. I like that a lot in a deck like this is shaping up to be.
I saw the Fumigate, I was like, well, do I really want to play Fumigate in my green-white aggro deck versus Inspired Charge? And I was like, all right, I'm going to play Fumigate in the green-white aggro deck.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where maybe it's not optimal in the deck, but you can sculpt your game plan sometimes, if you happen to draw it. Yeah. It's also probably a card you don't want to play against, which adds a little bit to the decision there, I think, but very cool. On to pick 4.
This one was a little... I deliberated between the Cobra and the Dragster for a bit. I ultimately went with Cobra just because 2 drops are a premium.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The Death Touch really, really handy too. In a white-green deck, just a little bit of extra removal, I think. And here in pack 5, anything really standing out? I mean...
There's nothing that really stood out, but I took Aradara Express because I think there are a lot of board stalls because the creatures are like pretty comparable in power level, so just having something to be able to break up those board cells was big.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And here in pick 6,
I deliberated between the Gear Shift Ace and the Eager Construct.
Okay.
I thought that the Gear Shift Ace was just a better 2-drop, and I'm also in white, so.
Sounds great. So let's see how the rest of that pack ended up for you. A couple Heralds of the Fair, Trusty Companion, Thriving Ibex. So yeah, again, some kind of filler level stuff.
Yeah, it really filled out the curve to complement like the pretty good removal spells that I got in packs 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'd say your deck looks pretty solid overall. Have you been happy with it so far?
Yeah, I'm currently 1-1. Funny enough, the round that I lost because the player to my right passed me the Fumigate and he played around it.
Oh,
and I was like, man.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you in the rest of the tournament. It's awesome. Thanks for joining us, Thien. And this is Ian Duke signing off from the Draft Viewer.